Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. It's dry here in San Diego for a change. We've had quite a bit of rain this year so far. So I think last time I saw we were like 2, almost 3 inches above normal for us. That's quite a bit. Anyway, the purpose and what I'm doing with this type of presentation on a monthly basis is just to kind of bring to the forefront situations I see that I encounter through the course of a month, and hopefully by sharing some of those experiences with you all, and bringing up the forms and the documentation that I do, it'll help you kind of jar your memory if you get put into a situation, backed into a corner, if you will, on a situation on how to handle it. Always call your broker in a situation where you're not 100% sure exactly what to do or how to handle it. So you should always call your broker and before moving forward with any type of situation that could be that could have legal consequences in the end based on your actions and your decision making. So, us brokers were somewhat removed from the situation from the point of view that we're not emotionally involved in a transaction with the clients directly or not. So anyway, so if you'd just please call your broker, that will be great. Today I'm talking in reference to a backup offer addendum. When you as the listing agent have an offer come in, you review that offer with your seller, and if the seller accepts it, you have them sign the RPA and all supporting documentation that comes in with that offer. Once you have done that, once your seller has signed off, they've accepted the transaction. So then you forward that acceptance, that seller's acceptance, to the buyer and the buyer's agent. Once they have acknowledged receipt of that acceptance, you have a deal. So do not accept a new offer that may come in after the acceptance has been gone back and forth between the seller and the buyer. Do not accept that second offer, even if it's better. I don't care how much better it is. It can be twice as good. You do not accept a second offer without first canceling the first offer. And the only way you can cancel the first offer going forward is to do a full cancellation document signed by the seller, agreed to and signed by the buyer, and then you have a cancellation. If you don't have that, you cannot fully accept the second offer. So what do? And again, I don't care how flaky the first offer may seem to you. Once you've accepted it, you have a sale, you have a transaction. But you can take that second offer and do a backup offer addendum. In the backup offer addendum, and that form is the CAR form BUO. It was revised in 2017. It's a 3-part document. Number one, I'm not going to tell you how to fill it out line by line, but I'm just going to hit the highlights on it. Under number one in this document, it'll be identify the backup number. So if it's the first backup, second backup, third backup, whatever the number is, that's the number you put in there. Important because it identifies the contingency to the previous accepted offer. So you can accept the second offer as a contingency, as a backup to the first accepted offer, and the backup offer is subject to the prior, the cancellation of the prior accepted offer. The buyer of this addendum can cancel their position in a backup position in writing, and it states that on the form. So if you have the buyer and you're in backup position 1, and the seller and the buyer decides they want to go out and buy another property because they don't want to wait, they're tired of waiting, then what we do is you would in writing submit an offer of cancellation to that buyer, and that would allow to the seller, and that way your buyer can back off. Under item number 2 of this document, deposit to escrow. again, it's an option. It's a choice. Number one, you can just, within 3 days of the seller providing written cancellation to you with respect to the first offer and the backup offer, the buyer can, within 3 days of getting the written cancellation of the first offer, the buyer can deposit their escrow deposit into escrow and move forward with the sale, removing them from a backup position to the main position in the main escrow. Or they can you can request that they put their deposit in immediately. I don't really recommend this, only because it's a backup offer. If the first offer goes through, you don't want to have to deal with signing cancellation forms and returning deposits. So I would suggest that you not do that. I would suggest that you go ahead and accept the backup offer with the backup offer addendum and move forward. Once the first offer cancels, then the contingency one can, or backup offer one can come back in, take a lead position, deposit their funds, and you can move forward with the escrow. Under number 3, investigations. The investigations for the buyer who has a contingency backup number 1 starts the day after the seller provides full documentation signed by all parties as to the cancellation of the first offer. So that begins the time process. Keep in mind one thing though, that if in the RPA for the contingency backup offer, the buyer has identified a closing date, that closing date is on the RPA, so that sticks unless both parties, buyer and seller, agree to extend or change that date. So again, keep in mind, don't just think, well, because everything else, the investigations start the day after, the closing date gets pushed out as well. It's not automatic. You have to negotiate it. You have to put it in writing, and all parties have to sign and agree to it. How do you back away from a backup offer, a position, if you have a buyer and you're a backup offer number 1? You can do that in a number of ways, but probably the easiest way, best way to do it is to use CAR form WOO, withdrawal of offer. And you can complete it, send it to the seller for their signature. Our buyer can sign it, and then our buyer can move forward, having fully withdrawn the offer and moving on with another property. So again, how do you get rid of a contingency offer backup position? Through a withdrawal of offer. And again, you can kind of read through it. I'm not going to tell you how to fill it out because you can you can do that yourself. But keep in mind, you can't sell one property to 2 people. It can't be done. And you can't just, because the second offer seems better, because the first offer may seem flakier, you have to follow through and make sure that you cancel that first offer before you accept the second offer. Go ahead and accept the second offer through the backup offer addendum, but you can't move forward with it as a sale without the first offer, the first accepted offers fully cancellation. So please, please, please do that. That's all I have for today, really. If anybody has any questions regarding this document, either document, please contact your broker and we can move forward with the cancellation and make sure that everything is put together and gone through. Again, you can't place your seller or our brokerage or your license in jeopardy by trying to sell the same property twice without a cancellation of the first accepted offer. So please follow through with that. I hope you have a great rest of the week, a great month, and I look forward to talking with you, seeing you, meeting you. Everybody have a great, great weekend.